Alright, listen up. We're about to plunge headfirst into the untamed heart of the wild, a world where survival is a daily battle, and the line between life and death can be thinner than a razor's edge. This isn't your average stroll in the park, this is nature in its rawest, most unpredictable form. We're talking about encounters that will make your heart pound in your chest like a drum, situations where instinct takes over and every decision counts. The wild is beautiful, magnificent even, but it demands respect, and it can turn on you in an instant if you're not prepared for what it can throw your way. It's a place of incredible power, and we're here to explore its most formidable inhabitants. Today, we're not just admiring these creatures from a safe distance, we're staring danger straight in the eye. We're peeling back the curtain on some of the most terrifying animal attacks ever recorded, moments when humans came face to face with nature's ultimate predators. These aren't just stories, they're harsh lessons in survival, reminders that we are not always at the top of the food chain. From the crushing jaws of a great white to the silent stalk of a jungle cat, these encounters will test your nerve. But remember, understanding these dangers is the first step to navigating them, to knowing how to react when the wild gets a little too close for comfort. The truth is, out here, anything can happen. One minute you're admiring the view, the next you could be fighting for your life. These animals, they're not inherently evil. They're driven by instinct, by hunger, by the need to protect their young or their territory. They're masters of their environments, perfectly adapted killing machines in some cases. It's our intrusion into their world, sometimes our ignorance or carelessness, that can lead to these terrifying confrontations. So, buckle up, because we're about to explore encounters that will make you appreciate the sheer, untamed power of the animal kingdom and the courage of those who've survived its fury. Now, some of these tales are grim, no doubt about it. But even in the darkest moments, there's often a sliver of something else: resilience, an indomitable spirit, or even a touch of the absurd. The host believes a bit of humor can lighten the load, and maybe she's right. Laughter in the face of fear, it's a survival tactic in itself. But let's be clear, the wild doesn't do punchlines. When you're out there, it's deadly serious. So, let's learn, let's be awed, and let's remember that respecting these incredible animals is paramount for survival. First up, we're diving into the abyss, the domain of one of the planet's most ancient and feared predators, the shark. These creatures have been patrolling our oceans for over 400 million years, long before dinosaurs roamed the Earth. They are perfectly evolved killing machines, streamlined, powerful, and equipped with senses that can detect a drop of blood from miles away. When you enter their world, the ocean, you're on their turf, playing by their rules. Their power is immense, a silent, gliding menace that can appear from the depths without warning. It's a primal fear, isn't it? The thought of what lurks beneath the waves, unseen, unheard, until it's too late. The very word shark can send shivers down your spine, and for good reason. Movies like Jaws cemented their reputation as relentless man-eaters, tapping into a deep-seated human fear of the unknown and the uncontrollable. Imagine being out there in the vast, open ocean, vulnerable, and then you see that fin, a dark triangle cutting through the water towards you. Your heart hammers, your breath catches. It's pure, unadulterated terror. This isn't just a fish, it's an apex predator, a creature that has honed its hunting skills over millennia. And you, my friend, might just look like an easy meal in its formidable territory. But here's the thing, while the fear is real, sharks aren't always the mindless monsters they're made out to be. Most of the hundreds of shark species out there pose little to no threat to humans. They're not actively hunting us down for a Sunday roast. Many attacks, when they do happen, are often a tragic case of mistaken identity. Think about it, you're splashing around on a surfboard, silhouetted against the bright surface. To a shark, looking up from below, you might bear a striking resemblance to a seal or a sea turtle, their natural prey. It's a terrible mistake, but one with devastating consequences for the human involved. Still, entering the ocean means entering their hunting ground, a vast, three-dimensional wilderness where they hold all the advantages. We are clumsy, slow interlopers in their world. The sheer pressure of a shark's bite, the rows of razor-sharp teeth designed to tear and shred, it's a formidable arsenal. Understanding their behavior, their triggers, and the environments they frequent is crucial if you want to minimize the risk. Because when that mistaken identity happens, or when a curious shark decides to investigate with its mouth, the encounter can turn deadly in a horrifying instant. It's a stark reminder of nature's unforgiving power. Alright, moving from the ocean's depths to the sun-scorched plains of Africa, we come face to face with the undisputed king of the savannah, the lion. These magnificent beasts, with their regal manes and earth-shattering roars, embody wild power. They are the apex predators of their domain, symbols of strength and courage. But beneath that majestic exterior lies a hunter, a creature honed by millennia of evolution to stalk, to chase, and to kill with ruthless efficiency. When you hear that roar echoing across the plains, it's not just a sound, it's a declaration of dominance, a warning that you are in the presence of a true master of its environment. The power packed into a lion is simply astounding. We're talking about hundreds of pounds of pure muscle, armed with claws like daggers and jaws capable of crushing bone. They hunt in coordinated groups called prides, using strategy and teamwork to bring down prey many times their size: wildebeest, zebra, even buffalo. Their senses are incredibly acute. They can see in near darkness, hear the faintest rustle in the grass, and smell prey from a remarkable distance. They are built for the hunt, every fiber of their being geared towards that singular purpose of survival and sustenance in a harsh and unforgiving land. Now, Norma mentioned an attitude problem, and she's not far wrong. Lions are fiercely territorial. They will defend their hunting grounds and their pride with ferocious aggression. A male lion's roar isn't just for show. It's a clear message to rivals: this is my land, stay away. They are also incredibly protective of their cubs. Get too close to a lioness with her young, and you're asking for trouble, serious trouble. This isn't a domestic cat we're talking about. This is a wild animal whose instincts are razor sharp, and whose response to a perceived threat can be terrifyingly swift and brutal. There's often an illusion of safety when you're on safari, tucked away in a vehicle. You feel like an observer, separated from the raw danger by a thin sheet of metal and glass. But that veil is incredibly fragile. These animals are wild, unpredictable. A lion doesn't see a Land Rover full of tourists. It might see a strange, noisy shape, or worse, if someone is careless, it might see an opportunity or a threat. The line between watching a lion and becoming its focus can be crossed in an instant, a chilling reminder that out here you are always in their world, subject to their rules. Alright team, we're wading into some seriously dangerous waters now, the realm of the crocodile. These creatures are living relics, apex predators that have stalked this planet for millions of years, virtually unchanged. Their design is a masterpiece of predatory evolution, built for stealth, power, and sudden, devastating attack. When you're near any body of water in their territory, you have to assume they're there, watching, waiting. Their patience is legendary. They can lie submerged for hours, just a pair of eyes and nostrils breaking the surface, assessing every movement, every ripple. This isn't an animal you reason with. This is a primal force of nature, and in its environment, it holds all the cards. Understanding their behavior is key to not becoming an unfortunate statistic. The sheer adaptability of crocodiles is astounding. They thrive in a range of environments, from murky rivers and swamps to estuaries and even coastal waters. This versatility means you can encounter them where you least expect it, making constant vigilance absolutely critical. They're not just lurking in the deep, they can be sunning themselves on banks, perfectly camouflaged, or hidden amongst reeds and vegetation. Their ability to blend into their surroundings is uncanny, turning a seemingly peaceful riverbank into a potential death trap. Every shadow, every submerged log could be one of these ancient hunters. It's this constant threat, this unseen danger that makes croc-infested waters some of the most terrifying places on Earth. Consider the way they hunt. It's a terrifying blend of patience and explosive power. They often lie in ambush at the water's edge, waiting for unsuspecting prey to come close for a drink or to cross. The attack, when it comes, is lightning fast, a blur of teeth and muscle. They'll lunge out, clamp down with those incredibly powerful jaws, and then often drag their prey back into the water. There's no hesitation, no warning, just pure, focused, predatory instinct. It's a stark reminder that in the wild, the line between life and death can be incredibly thin, and these creatures are masters at exploiting any vulnerability. You've got to respect that power and keep your distance. The very presence of a crocodile changes the entire dynamic of an ecosystem. Other animals know the danger, they move with caution, always aware of the silent threat beneath the surface. For humans, entering their domain requires an even higher level of awareness. These aren't creatures that are easily deterred. They see us as potential prey or a threat to their territory. The stories you hear, the warnings posted, they're not exaggerations. They are hard-earned lessons from those who've witnessed the raw power of these reptiles firsthand. It's a world where survival often depends on not making a single mistake and understanding that the crocodile is always hunting. Right, next up, we're shifting focus to an animal that many perceive as a gentle giant, the elephant. And in many ways they are. These are incredibly intelligent social creatures with complex family structures and deep emotional bonds. Watching a herd move through the savannah, communicating with those low rumbles, it's a truly majestic sight. They exhibit care for their young, mourn their dead, and display a level of sentience that's awe-inspiring. And this is a big but never ever underestimate their sheer size and power, or their capacity for aggression when they feel threatened. That gentle demeanor can vanish in an instant. The sheer scale of an elephant is something you have to witness up close to truly appreciate. We're talking about the largest land animals on Earth. Tons of muscle, bone, and determination. A bull elephant in its prime is an unstoppable force of nature. Their tusks, magnificent ivory, are not just for show. They are formidable weapons used for digging, stripping bark, and crucially, for defense and combat. Their trunk, a marvel of biological engineering with tens of thousands of muscles, is incredibly versatile. Strong enough to uproot trees, yet delicate enough to pick a single berry. This combination of size, strength, and intelligence makes them truly unique. Their social structure is matriarchal, led by an older, experienced female who guides the herd, remembers vital water sources, and makes critical decisions for the group's safety. This strong family unit is key to their survival. They are fiercely protective of one another, especially the calves. It's this protective instinct that often leads to conflict with humans. If an elephant perceives a threat to its family, particularly its young, its response can be swift, decisive, and incredibly dangerous. They don't bluff. A charge from an agitated elephant is a life-or-death situation. Understanding these social dynamics is crucial for safe coexistence. The intelligence of elephants also means they learn and remember. They can distinguish between different human groups, recognizing those who pose a threat. In areas where they've had negative encounters with people, they can become more wary, more defensive, and quicker to react aggressively. This isn't mindless aggression, it's often a learned response based on past experiences. So while they might appear calm and approachable from a distance, it's vital to remember that you're dealing with a highly intelligent animal that has a long memory and a very powerful protective instinct. Their gentleness is conditional, and crossing that line can have severe consequences. Now, let's submerge ourselves into the world of an animal that, despite its somewhat comical appearance, is widely considered one of Africa's most dangerous, the hippopotamus. Forget the cuddly cartoon images. The reality of a hippo is far more formidable and frankly terrifying. These semi-aquatic giants are responsible for more human fatalities in Africa than many of the more traditionally feared predators like lions or leopards. Their bulk is immense, with adult males tipping the scales at several tons, and they combine this weight with a surprisingly aggressive and territorial nature. They are the undisputed heavyweights of the river systems. Don't let their portly build and seemingly placid demeanor fool you. Hippos are incredibly territorial, especially dominant bulls who will fiercely defend their stretch of river or lake against any intruders, including other hippos, crocodiles, and, unfortunately, humans. They spend most of their days submerged in water to keep their sensitive skin cool and moist, often with just their eyes, ears, and nostrils visible above the surface, much like a crocodile. But when they emerge, or when their territory is breached, their temperament can switch in an instant from apparent lethargy to explosive aggression. This unpredictability is a key factor in their dangerous reputation. Their most fearsome weapon is undoubtedly their cavernous mouth, armed with enormous canine and incisor teeth that can reach up to half a meter in length. These aren't teeth for grinding vegetation, though that's their primary diet. These are weapons, sharp and incredibly strong, capable of inflicting catastrophic damage. A hippo's bite can crush a small boat or easily kill a human. That wide, comical-looking yawn is actually a threat display, a clear warning to back off. It's a showcase of their formidable armament, a message that should always be heeded. Underestimate that mouth at your peril. The statistics don't lie. Year after year, hippos account for a significant number of human deaths and injuries. Many of these incidents occur when people in small boats, like fishermen, stray too close to a hippo's territory or accidentally come between a hippo and its path to deep water. Others happen when hippos, emerging from the water at night to graze, encounter humans on land. Their sheer size means even an unintentional collision can be devastating, but an aggressive attack is almost invariably lethal. This isn't a creature to be trifled with, it demands respect and a very wide berth. Right, when you're out in the deep wilderness, miles from anywhere, the creatures you share that space with demand your utmost respect, and none more so perhaps than the bear. These aren't your cuddly teddy bears from childhood stories, not by a long shot. We're talking about an apex predator, a true titan of the forest and mountains, capable of incredible feats of strength. Imagine a creature that can weigh over half a ton, flip boulders like pebbles, and sprint faster than an Olympic athlete. That's the reality of a bear. They are the embodiment of raw, untamed power, a walking, breathing symbol of nature's unforgiving might. Understanding this is the first crucial step to staying safe in their territory. Underestimating them can be your last mistake. There are various species of bears, each adapted to its own unique environment, each presenting its own set of challenges. You've got the mighty grizzly, or brown bear of North America and Eurasia, a formidable beast that commands instant respect with its sheer size and distinctive shoulder hump, a powerhouse of muscle. Then there are black bears, more widespread and often more curious. But don't let their smaller stature fool you. They are incredibly agile climbers and surprisingly strong. And let's not forget the king of the Arctic, the polar bear, a specialized marine hunter, the largest land carnivore on Earth. Each one of these magnificent animals is a master of survival in its domain, and when you step into their world, you're playing by their rules, not yours. The common misconception, often fueled by their almost cute appearance from a safe distance, is perhaps one of the most dangerous traps for the unwary. That furry exterior, those seemingly gentle eyes, they mask a creature built for survival in the harshest conditions. Their senses are extraordinarily acute. A bear can smell a potential food source from miles away, detecting the faintest aroma carried on the wind. Their hearing is sharp, picking up the snap of a twig from a considerable distance. And their eyesight, while perhaps not their strongest sense, is more than adequate for locking onto a target. This sensory arsenal makes them incredibly aware of their surroundings, and often of your presence, long before you're aware of theirs. When an encounter does happen, it's often swift, brutal, and utterly terrifying. A calm forest scene can erupt into a whirlwind of fur, claws, and teeth in a heartbeat. Their speed is deceptive for such large animals. A charging bear can cover ground with astonishing rapidity, leaving you with mere seconds to react. The force behind a swipe of their paw can be devastating, capable of breaking bones or inflicting deep wounds. It's this combination of power, speed, and inherent wildness that makes a bear encounter one of the most dangerous situations you can face in the great outdoors. Respect their space, understand their behaviors, and always be prepared. That's the key to survival. Right, let's talk about a creature that embodies both breathtaking beauty and lethal efficiency, the tiger. When the host calls them the ultimate feline hunters, that's no exaggeration. These magnificent animals are perfectly engineered killing machines, honed by millennia of evolution to be masters of stealth and ambush. Their iconic stripes, so striking to us, are incredible camouflage in the dappled light of the jungle or the tall grasses, allowing them to melt into their surroundings, becoming virtually invisible to their prey. Their paws are padded for silent stalking, and they possess immense power in their muscular frames, capable of bringing down prey many times their own size. The tiger commands its domain with an almost regal presence, a solitary hunter that carves out vast territories. They are the apex predator in their ecosystem, playing a crucial role in maintaining the health and balance of the wild places they inhabit. This isn't just an animal, it's a symbol of wildness itself, a creature that inspires both awe and a healthy dose of fear. To see one in its natural habitat is an unforgettable experience, but it's one that comes with the implicit understanding that you are in the presence of a perfectly adapted carnivore. Their senses are incredibly sharp, keen eyesight, particularly in low light, acute hearing, and a powerful build designed for a swift, decisive kill. The danger they pose isn't some abstract concept. It's a very real and present threat if you find yourself in their path unprepared. Their hunting prowess is legendary. They can stalk prey for hours, patiently waiting for the perfect moment to strike, often closing the final distance with a burst of incredible speed. The killing bite is typically directed at the throat or the nape of the neck, severing the spinal cord or causing suffocation. It's a brutal, efficient end. When a tiger hunts, it does so with a focus and intensity that is truly formidable. This isn't aggression born of malice, it's the instinct of survival, the drive to feed and sustain itself in a challenging world. When the host mentions how these big cats strut their stuff, it's not a display of arrogance. It's the quiet confidence of an animal that knows its place at the very top of the food chain. Every movement is measured, powerful, and purposeful. There's an economy of motion, a grace that belies their deadly potential. This self-assurance is born from countless successful hunts, from an innate understanding of their own capabilities. They are not just pretty striped cats. They are a force of nature, a testament to the raw power and beauty of the wild, demanding respect and a wide berth from anyone who ventures into their world. Snakes. Just the word can send a shiver down your spine, can't it? And as the host says, they often get a bad rap. But sometimes that reputation is hard-earned, especially when you're talking about the venomous varieties. These creatures are masters of stealth, often moving unseen and unheard, perfectly camouflaged against their surroundings. While many snakes are completely harmless and play a vital role in their ecosystems, controlling rodent populations, there's no denying the lethal potential of their venomous cousins. They are silent strikers, capable of delivering a devastating bite before you even realize they're there. It's a primal fear, this encounter with a creature that carries death in its fangs. We're talking about some truly formidable species here, the cobras with their iconic hoods and neurotoxic venom that can shut down your nervous system, vipers like the Russell's viper or the saw-scaled viper, whose hemotoxic venom can cause catastrophic bleeding and tissue damage. Then you have the mambas of Africa, incredibly fast and delivering potent neurotoxins, or the rattlesnakes of the Americas with their warning rattle, a sound that signals imminent danger. The speed of their strike is breathtaking, often too fast for the human eye to follow. It's a precision attack, delivering a complex cocktail of proteins and enzymes designed to immobilize prey or defend against threats. Understanding how venom works is key to appreciating the severity of a snake bite. Neurotoxins primarily attack the nervous system, leading to paralysis, respiratory failure, and ultimately death if not treated. Hemotoxins, on the other hand, target the blood and tissues, causing internal and external bleeding, excruciating pain, swelling, and necrosis, the death of tissue. Some venoms are a horrifying mix of both. The potency varies wildly between species, and even within the same species depending on geographical location and the age of the snake. This is why immediate, expert medical attention is absolutely critical. Time is your greatest enemy after a venomous snake bite. What makes these encounters particularly perilous is the snake's natural camouflage and their preference for quiet, undisturbed places. They can be found hiding under rocks, in dense undergrowth, among leaf litter, or even in agricultural areas where they hunt for rodents. It's incredibly easy to stumble upon one unawares, to accidentally step too close or disturb its hiding place, prompting a defensive strike. They don't hunt humans. A bite is almost always a defensive reaction when they feel threatened or cornered. But when that defense involves a potent dose of venom, the consequences can be dire. Respect and awareness are your best shields in snake country. Right, listen up. We're not talking about your average garden bee here, something you might idly swat away without a second thought, perhaps while enjoying a rare moment of peace in the backcountry. Hornets, especially some of the giant varieties we're about to discuss, are an entirely different proposition. They might seem insignificant when you spot one buzzing about its business, a tiny speck against the vastness of the wild, but underestimate these creatures at your absolute peril. They are nature's miniature, highly engineered flying fortresses, equipped with a sting that many describe as pure, unadulterated agony. It's a stark reminder that in the wilderness, size isn't always the determining factor for danger. Sometimes the smallest packages pack the mightiest, most painful punch, demanding your full attention and respect. These insects are masters of aerial combat and territorial defense, operating with a level of coordination that would impress a military strategist. When their nest, their home, their colony is threatened, or even if they merely perceive a threat from a clumsy trespasser like us, they don't just send out a single scout. Oh no, they launch a full-scale coordinated aerial assault, a swarm of fury that can overwhelm creatures many times their individual size. Each hornet is armed with that formidable stinger, and unlike some bees, many hornet species can sting multiple times, injecting their potent venom with each jab. This isn't just a nuisance, it's a serious survival situation unfolding in seconds, a biological blitzkrieg you want no part of. The venom itself is a complex cocktail of chemicals designed to inflict maximum pain and in some cases to break down tissue. It's a biological weapon honed over millennia. For most people, a single sting is an intensely painful experience, leaving a throbbing, burning welt. But for those who are allergic, or when faced with multiple stings from an agitated swarm, the consequences can escalate rapidly. We're talking about anaphylactic shock, respiratory distress, kidney failure, life-threatening conditions that can develop with terrifying speed, especially if you're miles from any medical help. It's a brutal lesson in the power of nature's smaller inhabitants, often overlooked until it's far too late. So when you're out in the wild, whether it's deep jungle or even temperate woodlands where hornets thrive, you need to have your wits about you. Keep an eye out for their paper-like nests, often hanging from branches or tucked into cavities. Listen for that distinctive angry buzz, the friendly nature your host mentioned. Forget it. These creatures aren't looking for a chat, they're bouncers at the door of their domain, and they take their job incredibly seriously. Treat them with the caution they deserve, give them a wide berth, and you might just avoid a truly harrowing encounter with these winged warriors of the insect world. Right, this next one is a bit different. We're moving from the untamed wilderness to, potentially, our own backyards and streets. We're talking about dog attacks. Now, for millions of people around the globe, dogs are more than just pets. They're loyal companions, beloved family members offering unwavering affection and comfort. I've relied on dogs in many situations myself for their incredible senses and companionship in harsh environments. The bond between humans and dogs is ancient and, for the most part, incredibly positive. They bring joy, assistance, and a unique form of friendship into our lives. And that's something truly special. However, it's absolutely crucial to remember that beneath that furry exterior, that wagging tail and those soulful eyes, lies an animal with a lineage tracing directly back to wild canids, to predators. Every dog, no matter how domesticated or pampered, carries a genetic blueprint shaped by millennia of hunting, pack dynamics, and survival instincts. While selective breeding has emphasized traits like gentleness and obedience in many breeds, those primal instincts can, and sometimes do, surface. This isn't to demonize dogs, not at all, but to foster a realistic understanding of their nature, which includes the capacity for aggression under certain circumstances. The vast majority of dogs will go through their entire lives without ever showing serious aggression towards a human. But when an attack does occur, it can be particularly shocking and traumatic, precisely because it often involves an animal we've been conditioned to trust implicitly. The factors that can trigger an attack are varied: fear, pain, territorial defense, resource guarding, like food or toys, poor socialization, lack of training, or even predatory drive that has been misdirected. Understanding these potential triggers is the first step in preventing a dangerous encounter, whether it's with your own dog or one you meet unexpectedly. So, while we cherish the friendly companions, we must also acknowledge the potential for vicious encounters. It's an unsettling duality, this capacity for both immense affection and, in rarer cases, significant harm. This isn't about being scared of every dog you see, it's about being aware, respectful, and knowledgeable. It's about understanding that all animals, even those who share our homes, operate by their own set of rules and instincts. Recognizing this helps us interact more safely and responsibly, ensuring that the incredible bond we share with dogs remains a positive one for both species. Alright, we're venturing back into the realm of creatures that often go unnoticed until it's too late, creatures that pack a serious punch despite their size. I'm talking about scorpions. These ancient arachnids, with their distinctive segmented tails curved menacingly over their backs, tipped with that venomous stinger, are true masters of survival, thriving in some of the planet's most inhospitable environments: deserts, arid scrublands, rocky outcrops. But don't be fooled, they can also be found in more temperate zones, sometimes even making their way into human dwellings, seeking shelter or prey. The primary weapon of the scorpion is, of course, its sting, and this isn't just a minor inconvenience like a nettle rash. The venom injected by a scorpion is a complex neurotoxic cocktail, a potent brew of proteins and peptides designed to paralyze or kill their insect and small vertebrate prey. Unfortunately, this venom can also have severe effects on humans. While many scorpion stings result in localized pain, swelling, and numbness, unpleasant certainly, some species possess venom powerful enough to be life-threatening, particularly to children, the elderly, or those with underlying health conditions. It's a silent, often hidden threat. There are over 2,000 known species of scorpions, but only a small fraction, perhaps around 25 to 30 species, have venom considered medically significant to humans. However, identifying which scorpion is dangerous and which is less so can be incredibly difficult for the untrained eye, especially in a panic situation. Their size can vary dramatically too, from less than half an inch to over 8 inches long for some of the giants of their kind. But size isn't always an indicator of venom potency. Some of the smaller species can be among the most dangerous. You've got to treat every single one with extreme caution. These creatures are typically nocturnal hunters, preferring to hide during the heat of the day in cool, dark places. This means they can often be found under rocks, logs, and crevices, inside shoes left outside, or amongst bedding if you're camping out in their territory. This is where most accidental encounters occur: an unsuspecting hand reaching under a rock, or a foot slipping into a boot where a scorpion has taken refuge. It's a sudden, sharp, burning pain, and then the race against time begins if it's one of the more venomous varieties. They are a constant, hidden reminder to be vigilant in their habitats. Right, when you're out in the open ocean, surrounded by that vast expanse of blue, it's easy to be mesmerized by the life teeming beneath the surface. Some of it, like these jellyfish, can look absolutely otherworldly, like translucent ghosts dancing in the currents. They drift with an eerie grace, their bells pulsing, tentacles trailing like delicate ribbons. But don't let that ethereal beauty fool you for a second. In the wild, what appears serene can often mask a serious threat, and these gelatinous creatures are a prime example. One moment you're admiring their silent ballet, the next you could be fighting for your life. Nature rarely hands out free passes, especially in an environment as unforgiving as the sea. These creatures, they're not actively hunting you, not in the way a shark or a crocodile does. They're more like floating minefields, armed with thousands, sometimes millions, of microscopic stinging cells called nematocysts. These are tiny harpoons, coiled and ready, and they discharge on contact with incredible speed. You brush against a tentacle, often unseen in murky water or when you're distracted, and bang! Those cells fire, injecting venom. It's an incredibly efficient system, perfected over millions of years. They just drift, carried by the currents, a silent, often invisible armada of pain waiting for an unsuspecting victim. It's a survival mechanism for them, but a nightmare for us. Alright, moving from the ocean's depths to the dense forests and scrublands, we encounter another creature that demands serious respect: the wild boar. These aren't your docile farmyard pigs, not by a long shot. Wild boars are tough, resilient animals built like furry battering rams. They've got coarse, bristly hair, a solid, muscular body designed for rooting and charging, and most notably, formidable tusks. These aren't just for show. The lower tusks, in particular, are kept razor-sharp by grinding against the upper ones. They can grow several inches long and inflict devastating injuries with surprising speed and ferocity. These animals are masters of their domain, thriving in a variety of habitats, from ancient woodlands to marshy thickets. They're omnivores, using their powerful snouts to root through the earth for anything edible: roots, nuts, insects, small animals. They have an incredible sense of smell, which helps them find food and detect danger, but their eyesight isn't the best. This combination can sometimes lead to unexpected close-quarters encounters. They are a vital part of their ecosystem, tilling the soil and dispersing seeds, but their wild nature means they are inherently unpredictable when confronted. Right, the pufferfish. It often looks almost comical, doesn't it, ballooning up like a spiky football when threatened. But out here, in the vast, unpredictable waters of the world, appearances can be incredibly deceptive, a dangerous trap for the unwary. This isn't just another colorful fish you might spot on a reef. Consuming it, if you don't possess the precise knowledge, is like playing Russian roulette with your life. In places like Japan, it's revered as a delicacy, fugu, they call it, a culinary thrill. People will pay a significant amount of money for that experience, that delicate dance with mortal danger. But let me tell you something crucial. Nature doesn't care one bit about your bank balance or your bravado when its potent defenses are triggered. This creature is a serious bit of kit, armed with one of the most notoriously deadly poisons known to humankind. You've absolutely got to respect that immense power. The real killer lurking within this unassuming fish is a substance called tetrodotoxin. That might sound like a complex scientific term, but what it translates to in practical terms is a world of unimaginable pain, and very often something far worse. This neurotoxin is terrifyingly potent, hundreds, even thousands of times more lethal than cyanide, depending on the dose. It's concentrated in the fish's liver, its ovaries, sometimes even in the skin and blood. One minuscule mistake during the preparation process, one almost imperceptible slip of the knife by an untrained hand, and you're not just serving a meal, you're potentially serving up a death sentence. The toxin works by shutting down your nerve impulses, initiating a creeping, insidious paralysis that often starts with your lips and tongue, then relentlessly spreads throughout your entire body. It's a truly terrifying prospect, your conscious mind trapped, fully aware, inside a body that's systematically shutting down around you. Absolutely brutal, and a horrific way to go. The tradition of eating fugu, it's a practice steeped in centuries of history, a culinary tightrope walk over a chasm of certain death. The chefs who prepare this fish, they're not merely cooks in the ordinary sense, they are warriors, engaging in a silent battle against an invisible, deadly enemy. Their specialized knives, their only trusted weapons in this high-stakes confrontation. They undergo years, sometimes even a full decade, of intensive, rigorous training, their concentration unwavering, knowing that a single, misplaced fleck of a toxic organ could prove fatal for their trusting customer. It's an incredibly high-stakes game of precision and knowledge, and ultimately, nature always holds all the aces. This isn't quite like picking a slightly dodgy berry in the deep jungle, which can also be dangerous. This is a calculated, deliberate risk, often taken by those who actively seek the ultimate culinary thrill, or perhaps, by those who simply don't fully comprehend the terrifying power they're choosing to trifle with. So, imagine you're out in the wild, perhaps stranded on a remote coastline, and you've managed to catch one of these pufferfish. It might look like an easy, readily available meal, right? A gift from the sea. Wrong, dead wrong. Without the highly specialized expert knowledge required to render it safe, this fish is effectively a ticking biological time bomb. The powerful allure of an exotic, unusual meal can very quickly transform into a desperate, terrifying fight for your very life. It serves as a stark, potent reminder. The ocean, much like any untamed wilderness, is absolutely brimming with hidden, unexpected dangers. What might appear to be a harmless, even intriguing creature can pack an unbelievably lethal punch. My straightforward advice? Unless you happen to be a highly trained, licensed fugu master with years of experience, you should admire this particular marvel of nature strictly from a safe distance. Right, now we turn our attention to the rhinoceros. An absolute, undeniable beast of an animal, a true heavyweight champion of the wild. When you see one, it genuinely looks like it's walked straight out of the mists of a prehistoric age, with its incredibly thick, almost armored skin and that iconic, formidable horn, sometimes two, jutting proudly from its snout. To encounter one of these magnificent creatures in its natural habitat, whether it's the vast African savanna or the dense forest of Asia, is a truly breathtaking, unforgettable sight, a living symbol of raw, untamed wilderness. But don't you dare let that often slow, seemingly lumbering gait lull you into a false sense of security. This is a creature that commands and indeed demands profound respect. It's effectively a 2-ton, muscle-bound tank that can turn on a sixpence and charge with astonishing, terrifying speed. It embodies raw, untamed power, and you've got to be incredibly wary and cautious when you're anywhere near it. It's also important to know that there are different types of rhinos, and their temperaments can vary. You've got the white rhino, for instance, which is generally a bit more placid, a grazer that tends to be more social. Then you have the black rhino. Now that's often a different proposition altogether. They're primarily browsers, often more solitary in their habits, and they carry a notorious, well-earned reputation for being significantly more unpredictable and potentially aggressive. They possess notoriously poor eyesight, which paradoxically can actually make them even more dangerous. They might just decide to charge first and ask questions later if they feel suddenly threatened, cornered, or startled by an unfamiliar presence. Understanding these crucial behavioral differences is absolutely key if you ever find yourself sharing territory with them. It's not just a rhino, it's a specific kind of challenge with its own set of rules for engagement, or preferably avoidance. People frequently and dangerously underestimate their surprising agility. You see this massive, bulky frame and your mind instinctively thinks slow, cumbersome. But a rhinoceros can actually achieve speeds of up to 30 miles per hour. Sometimes even more in a short explosive burst of energy. Just try to imagine that sheer amount of weight, all that dense muscle and bone, hurtling towards you with the unstoppable momentum of a runaway freight train. They can pivot incredibly quickly for their size, change direction with surprising swiftness, and navigate remarkably rough, uneven terrain with an agility that belies their immense bulk. It's a stunning testament to the incredible efficiency of nature's engineering. This isn't some gentle, docile giant from a children's storybook. This is a highly adapted, incredibly resilient survivor, perfectly built for immense power, and when circumstances deem it necessary, for direct, brutal confrontation. And then there's that horn, or horns depending on the specific species. They're most certainly not just for show, not some kind of fancy, decorative ornament. These horns are made of densely packed keratin, the very same protein that makes up your own fingernails and hair, but compressed into an incredibly strong, dagger-like weapon. Rhinos use them for a variety of purposes, for digging up roots and water, for defense against natural predators like determined lion prides, and, unfortunately for some unlucky individuals, in aggressive altercations with humans who get too close or appear threatening. A rhino doesn't even need to bite you to cause catastrophic damage. A single powerful toss from that horn can send a fully grown person flying through the air, inflict devastating internal injuries, or impale you with lethal force. It's a truly formidable weapon, expertly wielded by an animal that unequivocally deserves a very, very wide berth indeed. So there you have it, folks. The top 15 scariest animal attacks from around the globe. What an absolutely incredible and at times heart-stopping journey we've been on together, navigating through the raw, untamed power that Mother Nature so clearly possesses in abundance. From the murky, mysterious depths of the vast ocean, where those notorious sharks sometimes lurk with their unfortunate cases of mistaken identity, all the way to the sun-scorched savannas and the dense, steamy jungles, which are home to such formidable and awe-inspiring creatures as lions, tigers, and of course, the mighty rhinoceros, we've certainly witnessed firsthand how quickly a serene and beautiful wildlife encounter can escalate into a desperate, primal fight for sheer survival. It's a truly humbling experience when you stop to think about it, isn't it? It serves as a stark and vivid reminder that we are, at best, merely visitors in their ancient established world. A world that operates by its own primal, unwritten rules and deeply ingrained instincts. If this wild adventure that we've shared got your heart pounding just a little bit faster than usual, if you perhaps found yourself perched on the very edge of your seat during some of those intense accounts, and if you've learned something new and valuable today about these truly incredible animals and the profound, unwavering respect they inherently command from us, then please don't be shy about it. Go right ahead and smash that like button, show us some of your amazing support and let us know you enjoyed it. And of course, please make sure you subscribe to the channel because believe me when I say, we have an absolute treasure trove of more fascinating explorations into the wild, thrilling, and sometimes undeniably perilous side of life heading your way very, very soon. You definitely wouldn't want to miss out on the next adrenaline-pumping expedition we have planned, would you now? So go on, click that little notification bell as well, and you'll be the very first in line for our next exciting deep dive into nature's wonders. And hey, we genuinely, truly want to hear from all of you out there in our amazing community. This is a conversation after all, not just a one-way street. We warmly invite you to share your own favorite animal stories. Perhaps you've had a particularly memorable close encounter with wildlife yourself, hopefully from a very safe and respectful distance, of course. Or maybe one of these particular stories that we covered in today's episode really sent an undeniable shiver down your spine, or perhaps sparked a brand new curiosity about a certain creature. Please feel absolutely free to drop all your fascinating thoughts, your personal experiences, any questions you might have, or even suggestions for future topics in the comments section located right below this video. Let's get a vibrant, engaging, and informative conversation going. It's truly through sharing these compelling stories and this vital collective knowledge that we all learn to better appreciate, understand, and more safely navigate the breathtaking, incredible biodiversity of our amazing planet. Always remember this, everyone, and carry it with you. Nature in all its multifaceted glory is breathtakingly beautiful, undeniably awe-inspiring, and a constant, unending source of profound wonder, joy, and inspiration for us all. But as we've clearly seen throughout our journey together today, it can also pack quite a significant and unexpected punch, a serious and potentially dangerous wallop if you're not exercising due caution or paying close and careful attention to your surroundings and the signals it provides. It rightfully, and without exception, demands our utmost respect, our vigilant caution, and our unwavering willingness to continuously learn, adapt, and understand its ways. So please stay safe out there in all your own adventures. Always be as prepared as you possibly can be for the unexpected. Remain keenly aware of your environment, and keep on exploring the amazing, jaw-dropping, and truly unforgettable wonders of our incredible planet with both courage and wisdom. Until next time, keep it wild, but always, always keep it sensible. Adventure responsibly, and we'll catch you on the next one.